Well, it's the morning. Had a pretty nice evening. Some interesting dreams. One, there were some owls flying about. Well, that wasn't a dream. There was owls last night, or all throughout the night, hooting about here. Well, the hooting inspired, because I kept hearing the hooting in my dream, with a strange call the owl was making. And in my dream, the owl was at first a strange, colorful pigeon, and then turned into a strange zebra-like thing with green all over it. Had a couple other interesting dreams. Had some frost during the night. It was a little chilly. Yeah, this bag I'm using right now is supposed to be rated a 15-degree bag. I don't know who rated it. 15 degrees what, but and what scale they're using, but it was, bearable, but it was cold. But bearably cold. I think I just heard a gunshot over here. Idiots are out shooting. Beautiful morning in the tall grass camp is what I'll call this. Beautiful. Gonna have us some breakfast, drink us some tea, chew that rear wheel, and then we'll be off. Well, got Faithful all packed up for day 2 in Jaade Bikoh, the Antelope Valley. Getting ready to leave this nice little camp I had, which I will call the tall grass camp. Now I know I keep harping on this, and you guys are going, what's the big deal? It is a big deal to find grass like this out here in this cow-burnt place, which in spite of its being cow-burnt is still filled with lots of beauty. Well, I'm over here in the foothills of the Black Mountains on the 24 hours in the Old Pueblo mountain bike course, or just off of it. And this is an annual event where you ride your bike for 24 hours straight on this 18-mile loop to see how many laps you can do. I admire those who do it, but I really don't have any interest in that kind of stuff. But while I'm out here, I decided to do a little geocaching. Geocaching is basically a glorified techie version of a scavenger hunt. They give you some coordinates, you get your toys out, in this case, my GPS, you put the coordinates in, you go to the place, and you find the cache. There's usually a logbook in it, maybe some trinkets and stuff. So I'm at the spot where the coordinates say. It says I'm within 6.24 feet of it. So I look around and I keep searching and searching, and oh wow, what's this? Inside this bush here, at the base of it, covered up a little bit, is an ammo can, which I guarantee you is the geocache. I'll show you what it looks like inside when I sign the logbook. Well, here's the geocache. I pulled it out of its little hiding place. We're going to open it up. This one is called something about golf. I guess these are checkpoints along the ways, Alpha, Beta, Charlie, and this is golf, and they have a little thing here. So we'll open this up, and let's see what kind of treats we have in here. There's our toys and all that other stuff. And there's some cards, some playthings. So I'll sign it. I'm not going to take anything. I just sign it. Because you're supposed to trade, leave something, take something. I like it. I'm actually getting kind of bored with this kind of thing, because I just think it's I think what happens is it encourages people just to go tramping around, and they're more interested in finding the box than they are in the land that they're in. And they end up trampling stuff to get here. And most of the people that participate in this sport just drive their vehicles out here anyways. They don't really do any hiking or mountain biking to get it. So, that's probably one of the last ones I do. I'm kind of losing my interest in it. I think it's just it'd be much more challenging if people would, do it the hard way. But basically get get the coordinates, instead of using a GPS, plot them on a topo map, and then use your skills to get out here and get in the area and find it. I think it'd be much more challenging. And that's the kind of geocaching that I would recommend doing, skip the GPS stuff. I think a lot of people just, it's a toy to play with, another electronic gadget. I got enough of those. Okay, enough of my ranting. Let's see here. Let me get in here, and I'm going to sign the logbook. Well, I've signed the cache. There it is. Today's date, 25th. 2011. My caching name, D-sapling. The little codes there. TNLN means I took nothing and left nothing as far as trinkets. And TFTC means thanks for the cache. There's probably a couple other ones I'll pick up along the way while I'm out here, but I won't bore you with those. Well, we're looking down here towards the south. The Catalinas are over here to your left. There's Bush Ridge, and the Tortolitas to the right, and right down the middle, pretty much where the road's pointing, is Tucson. If you're interested. Swinging back this way, we're looking off towards the west. Pretty much the same stuff I showed you earlier. Now we're getting pretty good. We're getting into the Black Mountains. There's some interesting stuff up here I'll show you later. There's a lot of prehistoric Native American stuff out here. There's a hill over here that has a wall built around the top, and there's lots of pottery and stuff scattered out here. Pretty much all this is attributed to the This is that peak I was mentioning earlier. It's actually marked down on the topographical maps as Fortified Peak. If you climb up to the top of it, and I have a couple times, I'm not going to do it today, you'll find that surrounding the top of it is a low wall made of stone. And there are several square outlines where buildings stood. And my guess is it was probably exactly what the name is, a fortified peak that was used as a refuge. Just back a little ways, there's an extensive area of pottery sherds and stuff, and sorry but I forgot to take a picture of it for you guys, but that's probably where the main village was, down where the pottery sherds are all scattered around on the ground, the broken pottery. And this was probably a retreat if they ever got in trouble and stuff. People climbed up here. It's a pretty steep climb. It's kind of hard to attack them. You know, you're climbing up there, they're throwing rocks down on you. So now we're in another drainage. Another watershed. We're in the watershed that drains. I call it the Coronado Wash watershed, and runs pretty much straight out towards Picacho Peak. Moving along, time to ramble on. Here, a nice look over to the west, little west-northwest. Picacho Peak is down in there, the Picacho Mountains. Way off the Silver Bell Mountains. Off that way is Phoenix. Down this way there's Tortolitas. So we're going to go a little bit further west, and then we'll start heading south. And then wherever the evening catches us is where we'll camp. And then we'll head back to Oracle tomorrow. Well, this is my first water stop. I'm going to fill up my containers. I was getting kind of worried, hoping I'd find this. Otherwise, I'd been pulling my water from a cow pond. And though this is pretty nasty, it is a hell of a lot better than getting it out of a cow pond. And I will be running it through my filter, so I don't have to worry about dying, hopefully. So, this is where I'm getting my water. And that's the one good thing about cattle grazing on public lands, aside from the fact that I like a nice steak, is that cattle have to drink. So the cow farmer has to provide them with water, which he doesn't intend to do, but he does intend to. I'm babbling here. He does intend to water his cows. But what he doesn't intend, but what is still a nice thing, is that while watering his cows, he provides water for wildlife and bikepackers. Cool. Riding on the 24 hours in the Old Pueblo course right now. Which just took place last weekend. Today is Friday, last Saturday. Well, change of plans. I was going to head down in this direction, south, for probably another 15 or so miles. But coming out of the west, northwest, there's a storm moving in. Doesn't look like much now, but it's supposed to be a doozy with lots of snow and stuff. And I think it might be wiser for me to be a little bit closer to Oracle tomorrow. The sleeping bag I have, I don't care for too much, but I really don't want to be riding through sleet and snow. Maybe other people like that. But if I can avoid it, I'm going to. So I'm going to head off back to the east now, following, for a good part here, the 24-hour in the Old Pueblo mountain bike course.